for what we're doing is better than Linux, right? And that was his strategic choice, and
Right.
we all support that vision. In fact, there are some irrefutable studies out there. I don't have them open right in front of me that the underlying Windows technology for managing, manipulating, and storing data in block level storage format and the way we work with storage um, is better for performance and security and some other things. Again, I don't have it in front of me, but I did read it. Again when we were starting out about a year ago, spinning the company out. I do recall that pretty clearly.
Um, Let me just check for any other questions here. Um, okay. Really nothing so far. Just an observation, but I've listened to, because by virtue of doing this show, I've been able to talk to some people from some other countries throughout the world, and I've been left with the impression that, for the most part, in like Africa, in Eastern Europe, throughout Southeastern Asia, that Windows is not all that dominant. That Linux tends to be more of the kind of the mainstream thing that the schools, government, people are using for server platforms. Do you find that to be the case, or do you Windows has some substantial inroads into those markets?
Bruce, that's a very good question. I don't know. I really don't know. That's very possible because Linux is a great operating system. It's a very powerful OS, and I wouldn't be surprised if that indeed was the case. However, I'm not aware of that because we certainly haven't felt it. I mean, I worked at Acronis prior to running StarWind, and we sold quite a lot of the Windows Server products all over the world. I mean, in over 100 countries,
Okay.
and it was a pretty healthy sales growth there as well for the Windows Server product. So it's very possible that maybe Linux does dominate. I'm not aware of that. That'd be an interesting fact um, to glean out. Maybe again going to IDC or Gartner reports. But we haven't seen that. We certainly have a very healthy flow of customers and users all around the world. Both users of our free product and paid customers as well. And we only work on Windows, so maybe we just don't see the other side. We don't see the Linux side because we don't have a product for it.
Okay, fair enough. Just two more questions to go, and hopefully I'm making these as easy as I can for you.
No
Uh,
problem.
you know, if you're a VAR, okay, and becoming a VAR with StarWind, by the way, is a very simple process. All right, I will tell you that it is not difficult at all. But conversely, when you are looking to go out and talk to clients, the question I had is the best approach. Your recommendation for the best approach when in talking about the StarWind product, right? To kind of take them down that path, your prospect towards using that. Now, you kind of headed me off at the pass with some of the new features of version 5, HA. That kind of makes things a whole lot easier. But when I'm talking to clients, or you've got a partner out there talking to clients, the best way to present the StarWind product, and I think you summed it up. I guess one track you could take is to say, here's a product that's going to give you 80+% of the features at a fraction of the price of the $50,000-$60,000 SAN solutions out there. That is one track you could take. Would there be anything else you might recommend, Zorian?
Oh, absolutely. I think the price is one of the biggest value propositions of our product. I mean, you're getting an amazing product. And again, I sound biased. Of course, I run this company, but but I really do urge people out there to go ahead and download our product and test it. I think they will be blown away. I mean, it's a product that allows you to build your own SAN. In fact, we have a webinar that we do every month. We call it Build a SAN, and it has very good feedback from folks because they didn't realize that they can actually um, build a SAN that is equivalent to those legacy traditional vendors out there. I mean, think about it. EMC, great company. EMC Clarion, um, superior product. Just an awesome SAN appliance.
Right.
Um, it's not cheap, but guess what? Clarion is what is it? It's a standard hardware box that runs Windows embedded. Windows embedded, not Linux, but Windows embedded,
Right.
which is good. We support that, and it runs EMC's proprietary quote unquote firmware or software on top of Windows inside a standard off the shelf type of hardware.
Mm-hmm.
There's no proprietary hardware in there. It's an Intel based server, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's exactly the same thing that you can get by buying a Dell box or a white box or an HP box, whatever it is that you choose. You install Windows on it, whether you want to install Windows Embedded or Windows Server 2008 R2, doesn't matter. And then the only remaining piece that's proprietary that you're paying for with EMC really is the proprietary firmware, which is really kind of the software that transforms that very box, that standard box, into a SAN. Well, that's
Right.
what we offer you. We offer you the software to do exactly that. And the 80% of the features that you're getting with that, you're building your own SAN with the hardware of your own choosing, not hardware that was delivered to you from a proprietary vendor, the hardware that they chose. But you can pick up the absolutely best and the latest, highest performance hardware. Build a SAN out of it with our software. You get it for a fraction of the price, and you're getting the ability to work, to cluster your virtualization environment, your databases, and on top of that, with this new version, you get high availability, active high availability. Not just regular high availability, not the poor man's high availability, but true active high availability for a price that's non-existent. You're not going to find anything apples to apples for the price we're going to offer very soon.
You,
Um,
you know,
all of
yeah.
all of that, right? That's
Mhm.
that's that's the conversation starter right there.
I have conversations every day of the week, okay, Zorian, about appliances. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about the SAN, but I think a lot of people just forget that all an appliance is a computer running software.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
it's
exactly right.
nothing magical about an appliance. It's
Nope.
just a machine dedicated to a specific set of tasks, and is you buy them and they're more or less everything's pre-installed and ready for you to set up through software. But that's all they are. There's no magic to an appliance. Basically, what their company, what the StarWind's doing, is they're giving you the oily bits of a SAN. Here's the software. You supply the hardware. You bring your hardware to the dance. You install this software. Boom! You've got the appliance. You've got the magic components. Only rather than us dictating the components, the hardware, you choose whatever
Exactly.
you want to do. But here's the magic that makes it work. And boom, you've got an appliance.
And you know what? You're gonna save a lot of money just by building it yourself. Plus, you're in control. You build your own box with the latest and greatest hardware and software. So I can guarantee you that if you go and get some of those traditional SANs that get shipped to you in a UPS
Mm-hmm.
ground box, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you were to break it open, the hardware you're going to find in there is not only going to be several years old. 80% of the time, majority, you're chiefly going to find slightly, slightly antiquated hardware. I
Yep.
shouldn't say antiquated, but certainly several years old. I mean, it's good enough. It's
Right.
it's absolutely sufficient for most things you're going to do. But you're overpaying for something that you could just get on your own or get something significantly more recent and better performance. And
Yeah.
yeah, and you have your own appliance. You're in control.
Well, that leaves the final question, Zorian.
Go ahead.
And you know me,